Yo, Manchester City have just drawn 2-2 with Arsenal at the Etihad Stadium, and in this video I'm going to speak about the game, the performances of both teams, the referee, and why I think the Leandro Trossard red card ultimately benefited Arsenal. Manchester City started this game really well and deservedly took the lead inside the first 10 minutes through Erling Haaland. City looked really up for this match and looked determined to beat the team that they couldn't even score against last season. There's a real rivalry developing between these two sides, and the Manchester City players seem to relish this early season opportunity to establish a 5-point lead between themselves and this Arsenal team. I thought City were a shoo-in to win this game after going ahead so early. An early goal disrupts Arsenal's game plan, and if this game is allowed to become transitional, you'd really fancy Manchester City at the Etihad against any other team in the world. And for the record, there's nothing wrong with Arsenal's approach to this game, and there's nothing wrong with thinking that a point at the Etihad is a good result. If you think Arsenal lost the league last year because they went to the Etihad and played pragmatically, then you're factually incorrect. Arsenal lost to Fulham, West Ham, Aston Villa twice, and Newcastle last season. If they'd have won any of those games, wouldn't they have won the league? And then the same people would be praising the point that they actually got at the Etihad. Obviously, I'm oversimplifying things to hammer home this point that despite what some of these intellectually challenged pundits say, Arsenal did not fail to win the league last season for not going to the Etihad and trying to out-football Manchester City. Arsenal, however, in this game rode out the emotional City start and gained a foothold in this game before equalising through a superb strike from Riccardo Calafiori. I intentionally used the word emotional as once the game settled down, City became their usual selves, controlled, machine-like, and in all honesty, especially in this game, a bit bland. Just before halftime, Trossard gets sent off, which I'll speak more about later in this video when I talk about the refereeing performance. And I think this helped Arsenal in a way. It simplified the second half for them. Stop City from scoring, which they did twice last season, and you leave with 3 points. Easier said than done, of course, but they're more than capable. And despite Manchester City's dominance in the second half, both teams finished the game with an XG of 0.6. They were literally seconds away from winning this game after playing the majority of it with a man less. It was a defensive masterclass. I'm not an Arsenal fan, and I don't especially like watching these kinds of Arsenal performances, but my God, they are impressive. Mikel Arteta's job is to win football matches, not to entertain me on a Sunday afternoon. They make it look easy. The positioning, the discipline, the concentration, the organisation, the commitment needed to play like that against one of the best teams in the world has been slightly overlooked in the analysis that I've seen following this game. As impressive as Arsenal were though, I thought Manchester City were really poor, especially in the second half when they did have an extra player. Paul Merson, the only pundit in the Sky studio today who spoke any sense in the aftermath of this game, was spot on about City's second half approach. They didn't get the fullbacks forward and try to overload the flanks enough. Creating 2v1 situations in wide areas so you can cross the ball into the box or cut it back when the opposition's defenders are set is a go-to approach when trying to break down low blocks. And City really didn't mix it up before John Stones' introduction as an auxiliary centre forward just before the 80th minute. City's fullbacks just played inside most of the game and they just moved the ball from side to side to look for gaps that never appeared. And after the game, Pep Guardiola praised his side's patience, but surely he was frustrated with what he'd watched. The best coach in the world with arguably one of the best squads ever assembled at home against 10 men, and they ran out of ideas fairly early on in the second half. Coaches like Pep Guardiola and Arne Slot, who prefer to play through the middle of the pitch and create overloads in central areas, can be stifled by low blocks, as we saw against Inter Milan in midweek for Manchester City and Nottingham Forest last weekend for Liverpool. The last thing that I wanted to speak about in this video was the referee, Michael Oliver. Look, the officiating in the Premier League is woeful at best, but I don't think he had a huge bearing on this game, to be honest. I noticed that both fan bases thought he was against their team today, and I know what a shock that is, but he didn't do an awful lot wrong. Trossard deserved to be sent off. He should take some responsibility for that. And should Doku have been penalised for kicking the ball away? Well, no, because he didn't delay the restart. He was simply kicking the ball back to where the free kick should have been taken from. And was it a foul on Ederson for Gabriel's goal? No, it's poor goalkeeping if anything, and they get enough protection as it is. I actually think Michael Oliver's biggest mistake in this game was not letting Kyle Walker return to his position after calling both captains towards him, which ultimately resulted in Calafiori's goal. Kyle Walker, of course, could have made a better effort to get back into his position quickly, but I do think the referee should have waited until everyone was set before allowing Arsenal to take that free kick. I'm aware that refereeing decisions always divide opinion, so feel free to have a go with me in the comments section if you disagree. Anyway, that's all for me. As I just mentioned, please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you agree or disagree with what I've said in this video? Lastly, please give the video a like and hit subscribe for more football related content. I have videos on Mikel Arteta's philosophy and tactical approach and what I hate about modern football coming soon. So subscribing is the best way to get notifications when these videos are posted. Thank you so much for watching.